There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With over 140 channels in your vehicle, your all-access trial includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM Video on Demand. What you love is on now.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host Ben Wu here for another lunchtime learning session. CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM, and it's Friday, so I hope everybody had a great week. We're heading into an awesome, early summer weekend. Dare I say summer is just around the corner. I know some of you listening feels like it's been summer for a while, and others listening, well, we're still waiting for it, like myself. But anyhow, we're going to end the week strong on this one. On CMA Connected, we try to cover everything in the spectrum of 12 volt, whether it's car audio or it's ADAS. We try to bring you the goods, keep you up to date with what's going on and what you need to know to make sure your shop has the right stuff to present to customers. And sometimes it's solutions, and sometimes it's just darn cool gear. I would classify today's show as, yes, it's a safety item, but I think it just classifies under the damn cool gear category. And it's being brought to you by the folks at VOXX Electronics. VOXX is a very large company with many, many divisions, very strong in the ADAS category, very strong in security and remote starters, as you know, through Directed and Viper and all those great brands and Prestige. This is a new category for them. I don't know exactly how new, but definitely relatively new. And it's called Power Systems. And I myself was quite curious to see what Power Systems actually meant. Was this VOXX getting into providing batteries? I wasn't really sure. So to find out, I had to call the man himself. And I'm happy to say that today is a guest that I've been hoping to have on for quite some time now, but he makes his grand debut today. His name is Jonathan Frank from VOXX Electronics, joining me today. What's going on, Jonathan?
What's going on, Ben? Good to see you.
Hey, I didn't want to mess up your title. What is your exact title at VOXX Electronics?
So I'm the VP of Marketing for VOXX Electronics.
That means you're very important.
I don't think so.
No, you know what? We're blessed to have all the different VPs from the different product categories. We've had Joe DeTamaro on before. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we've had Joe Caltabiano as well from the mobile video side of things. But this is a different category. Like I mentioned, this is not security. This is not remote start. This is ADAS? No, it's not really ADAS. Maybe you can help me define what VOXX Power Systems represents.
So really, it doesn't fall into any category, right? It's an accessory. It's not audio traditionally, it's not video, but it is that accessory that will keep your vehicle or a loved one's vehicle on the road, no matter what. So, VOXX Power Systems is at the root a installed backup battery system.
Sounds simple enough. I mean, that doesn't sound very, innovative, if you ask me, unless you're here to correct me, though.
Well, so the category itself is not innovative, right? There's been jump packs and battery packs and, AAA and all of that for years. What's innovative about this product is how it integrates into the vehicle so that you have the power you need when you need it all the time, ready to go.
All right, so let's set the stage here. We're talking, like you said, we're talking about a backup battery system, which sounds to me like it needs to be installed in the vehicle. Now, that in itself makes it very unique, because if you're thinking about backup battery packs, right, you're thinking about those small, they look like hard drives, I guess is the best way I can explain it. And they tell you to keep it charged at home through a USB or something, and then bring it with you, or keep it in an emergency pack, or throw it in your truck, whatever. The point is that these things need to be charged, and more often than not, and I myself is included in these horror stories sometimes, when I needed it, guess what? There wasn't enough juice in there to get me out of trouble.
Yep. Yeah. So that's actually a perfect example of that. Backup battery packs, or jump packs as they call them, are good if they're charged, right? But so you get excited, you buy one, you go home, you charge it for whatever hours it tells you to, and then you toss it in the trunk, like you said, right? God forbid. And then you forget it, right? So it's like, go and you come out one day, car's dead. Oh, no problem. I got a battery backup. I got a jump pack. Go in the trunk, put it on there, and guess what? It's been 2 months. It's discharged or God forbid it's swollen because of the heat and because it's a lithium battery, and it doesn't work. So your fail-safe has now failed. And that's the main reason why we're coming out with the VOXX Power Systems, is because, like you mentioned, it's an installed backup battery, meaning it is always connected to the battery. It gets a trickle charge as you drive. So when you need it, it's ready to go. You don't have to worry about it being dead.
There are so many things I like what you're saying there, because people get a false sense of security when they purchase those type of items. Okay, so there's two things that happen. A, you've spent a considerable amount of money on the device, right? And then when it doesn't work, not only did you waste your money on it, it didn't work when you needed it most. And I think that's the key here is it going to be there when you need it most? And I noticed that on the tagline for this product, it's the power when you need it most. And that is when you need it, you really need it. There's no way around it.
Right.
And I think there's a lot of situations or scenarios that this could fit into, and we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to start off by giving a visual to the listeners or dealers listening. Guys, I just want to be very clear. This is a new category. This is something new that you can add to your arsenal that you're offering in your shop when you have vehicles that are coming in with, especially parents who may be setting up safety features on their children's car, or people who are conscious about safety and have that kind of mindset going in. If you had this, trust me, this would be something very interesting to show your customers. So let's get a visual on this first so people know what we're talking about. This is the VOXX backup battery power system. Talk to us a little bit about the design, Jonathan.
Yeah, so the design is really meant to be streamlined, right? It's a 8-inch by 8-inch and little under an inch high. So it's very small. It's easy to mount. Some of the use cases are in a trunk, maybe on the side wall. You've got under a seat. Now that could be on a truck. That could be the back seat, kind of in the truck bed area, or as you're showing right there, even under a front seat. That's how small it is. You see that there's really 2 wires that come out of this thing. So any installer who's installed an amp at any point can install this. It literally is a 4-gauge pigtail of power and ground. So you extend the wires depending on the vehicle length and go straight to the battery. I mean, it's the easiest thing. And use cases for this, you started kind of going into that, especially in mobile audio and video, right? You've got amplifiers, you've got audio systems. These things are draining power. God forbid someone goes to a car show. You and I spoke last week a little bit. We were reminiscing about Nopi back in the early 2000s. So, that I just outed how old we are, but
yeah, totally.
Nopi, these guys were pounding their systems all day long, and a lot of them forget to start their car every now and then to charge and give juice to the battery. Guess what? This thing comes in perfectly for that.
There's so many scenarios. Before we go too far into it, I wanted to break out those images. I kind of flashed them quickly because I wanted people, installers, especially the installers that are listening, to understand.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not a big device. You know what I mean? Every situation. So, like Jonathan mentioned, this is on the sidewall of any truck or trunk or hatchback or something like that. The key here is you do want it accessible because there is that manual start. Now, the interesting feature that we're going to get into after we show the installs is there's 2 ways to operate it. One way to do it is the manual start, which really is kind of like the manual backup way, because the cool way to do it, and the more convenient way to do it, is through an app on your phone. We'll get to that in a second. So this is the sidewall installation in the back of a sedan or a hatchback, for example. Jonathan, you mentioned underneath the back seat of a truck. There you go. That's what it is, beneath the bench seat in the back. As you can see, it doesn't take up a lot of space, unless, of course, you've got 4 10-inch subwoofers under there. You might not be able to put it there. But in the case that you don't, that's a good location. In the back of a sedan, just to give you a bit of reference as to the size. It's low profile, tucks away, not very hard to find a spot. I mean, under the front seat, that could work as well, as long as you make it, as long as there's enough space in there to get your hand in there to maybe access that button. That would be another logical solution or location. Now, this here is what Jonathan was referring to as far as hookup. Jonathan, you're not kidding. This is 2 wires. Now, does it come with that heavy gauge wire in the kit, or is that something that you'll have to supply on the install?
Yeah, so the kit does not come with extended wires. It comes with a pigtail that is part of the actual VPS. It's probably want to say 6 or 8 inches long. And it's 4-gauge wires, just literally red and black coming off this thing. That's it.
That's pretty, simple. There's nothing, there's no other remote box. There's no controller. There's no, okay. So we're talking straight red and black coming out.
Red and black, run it down,
run it down
wherever you mount it. If you're going down the driver's side or passenger side, obviously, if you've got an audio system, you don't want to run it down the same system as your signal. You don't want to induce any noise. And then you come out just like you're hooking up an amplifier. You've got power and ground straight to the battery. The only thing you don't need, which is different than an amp, would be a turn-on lead. So 2-wire connection and you're rolling.
Does it require a fuse?
It is internally fused. Everything you would need literally for the unit as well as the protection of the unit is internal. You set it and forget it, as they said on the infomercials way back when.
Set it and forget it. So you don't even need to fuse the power wire going down from the battery. Just connect it straight on.
Straight to the battery. I wouldn't, if you've got an audio system in the vehicle, I don't know if I would go into a distribution block.
Right. That's interesting.
If you did have to send a charge, you're going to send a charge through that distro block and then to the amplifier, and that may cause some damage to the amp. So I would go directly to that battery.
Keep it separate from the sound.
Correct.
Yeah, keep it separate from the sound. Okay.
Yep.
Let's see. Oh, already getting questions. You see, I knew this would pique some questions. So let's see. Let's see if Mr. Frank has the answers to some of these questions. What's the working temperature and can it be used to jumpstart? This has got to be a Canadian customer asking this question. It's a jumpstart in cold weather. Yeah.
So I said, Simon, it's a great question. Yes, it can be totally used in cold weather. Actually, the storage temperature is from, and this is in Fahrenheit. You gotta bear with me. Being down in the U.S. is negative 22 degrees Fahrenheit. All the way up to 121 degrees Fahrenheit.
121.
Yeah.
That's got to be up in like 50 degrees Celsius.
Sure. You do the
somewhere around there. Yeah, roughly around there.
Operating temperature is when you needed a jump start, will go from freezing, so 0, up to 113 degrees. So what happens, let's say you do have that scenario where it's a brutal Canadian winter and the battery is just so cold. What will happen when you need a jump is that it will start to send current to that battery and bring the battery up to a safe temperature to start. So if that battery is almost frozen, it'll start to heat it up. And when it feels that it's safe to start, it'll send its main current to it.
Wow. There's got to be a name for that. I'm trying to think what that would be because I don't think those regular jump packs would do that.
No, they'll just send a straight signal to it.
Right. It's like an on-off switch. You're either jumping it or you're not. This is it's smart, I guess.
It's smart technology in there. We've got a ton of patents on this thing. It's crazy, the internals and how smart, and between the batteries and the overcharging and even the storage of the energy and the power in the unit is new for these kind of things.
So it's right out of the gate. It is a unique product in the category, in the segment, because there's a lot of chargers. Let's be honest.
Sure.
Everywhere you can go. And Walmart's probably got 10 of them.
Right.
But the point is, this is a higher end unit that does a lot of things and a lot of things uniquely. Now, so you mentioned, I love what you said there. It based on the temperature, especially if it's cold or if it's too hot, whatever, it senses how much current or power it needs to send to warm up the temperature of the main battery such that it's optimal to get that charge get that crank when you need it.
Right.
Okay. What about the charge element? Like, how long does it take to charge? Is it always charging? There must be circuitry in there that manages that.
Yeah, so there's definitely overcharged circuitry, and because it is connected to your battery at all times, it constantly has a charge, and it stores that energy for when you need it. If you've got a really low battery, it will pull only enough to charge that pack. It won't pull any more than that's needed. So once it's on the battery, it gets fully charged, and it just stays fully charged. It doesn't keep pulling battery power.
That's what I was concerned about. Like, am I hurting my main battery by adding, this unit to it? And
correct.
The answer is
not
no,
at all.
It doesn't. Okay, right. So now my question juices are flowing now.
Okay.
What about how many charges is it good for?
So what we've found so far is it'll hold a charge for 5 to 6 months without ever pulling something off the battery again, right?
Okay.
That's half a year right there.
Yeah, right there.
We found on a fully charged VPS, and VPS is what we call it because saying VOXX Power Systems over and over again starts to get a little tiring. So VPS is about 20 jumps. Now that obviously depends on your environment. Obviously in a Toronto or, something cold, it's not going to get 20 because it's going to take so much to heat that battery. But on a normal environment, it's about 20 jumps.
Hold on, let's clarify what you're saying here. Is this the lifetime of the battery, or how many charges it can do on one charge? What are you saying?
How many jumps it can do on one charge?
Wow, 20 on one charge.
Yeah, so perfect example. I was talking to Joe Caltabiano, who's the product manager for this, and we have a facility up in Detroit, right out in Michigan, and we've got a whole bunch of cars. We work very closely with OEM, so we have a whole bunch of cars in there that no one's seen. In fact, I haven't seen them. I just gauge through and kind of see the black and white wraps on the cars. He's retrofitted this to make it a jump pack because he has to go out and, from time to time. And he's been able to easily pop 20 cars in one day, bring them in, and never have to charge the VPS.
I'm a little speechless on that stat. Okay, so this has to do something with the type of material being used from the battery side of things. You mentioned, those jump packs are lithium, right?
Correct.
Is this lithium?
This is a lithium with another component. And because Joe's the product manager and knowledge base, he knows what that other component is. But I can tell you that adding the additional to the lithium, first of all, makes it extremely safe, way safer than lithium.
That was my next question, because if this is under my seat, I'm like, I've heard stuff about lithium.
Sure. No, you won't get swelling like you do traditional jump packs, because traditional jump packs are a lithium ion battery. And when I was with Yamaha, we sold a competitor's jump pack. We got them back all the time because they swelled in the heat, and thankfully, none of them exploded. But when you see a battery pack swell, it's a little daunting task to try to handle that thing.
It's not something I'd want to do, nor do I want it under my seat, for example, or my kid's seat in his car or whatever, right?
Totally.
So it's a safe technology. It's obviously built to last and charge and hold a very, very strong charge.
Yep.
We talked about the install, 2 wires, low profile, make it accessible so you can have that manual turn on or reset, whatever the button.
Yep.
Let's go to the other side of things, which is the software side of things. So this is not just a jump pack in the traditional means. This is a app controllable jump pack.
Sure. So the number one complaint, dead battery, whether you're waiting for AAA, tow truck, jump packs, whatever, is that you physically have now gotten out of your vehicle. You've opened the hood. Most people, they look in it like they know like they're a mechanic. They wiggle a terminal or something, right? Well, it's unsafe, first of all, to get out of your vehicle. God forbid you're on the side of a highway or a road that's busy, right? You run that risk. Weather, the elements, you popped your hood. It's either 122 degrees in Arizona. It's 8 degrees in Buffalo, New York, or God forbid it's raining, right? So that sucks. I don't know. I don't care who you are. Getting out of your vehicle in any of those environments sucks for traditional jumps. With the app and the smart technology, this has Bluetooth built in. We have an app that if you need it, you literally, while you're sitting in your car, you open the app, you hit charge, it does a little countdown, tells you when you can jump it, you hit
You know what? I'm going to stop you there. We actually have visual screenshots, so you can walk us through this process. I want people to understand this. All right, so here you go.
Yep, so perfect. So the one on the left is kind of waking up the VPS itself. And in the meantime, you can get some actual status from your battery because it's connected to it. So it'll tell you what the battery temp is currently, what's its voltage, what voltage is the actual VPS at. And then even if it's a gas or diesel engine. So once it wakes, you push and hold the second picture to the left. It'll do a countdown to where it's actually taking the power that's stored in the VPS and about to send it to the vehicle. It will then charge that battery, and then you'll get a countdown. Actually, I think you may have a screen of that one. You have a countdown where it counts down from 15, and then you have 15 seconds to hit go. Hit go, sends the charge. There you go. And the car starts.
in the comfort of sitting in your seat while your battery has died and failed you, you pull out your phone.
Yep.
Go, gadget, VPS.
Yep.
Tells me what's going on. Set to charge. Tells me, okay, now start the car. Either push or start, whatever car you have.
Yep.
And you're on your way. And
Done.
And confidently enough, you've just told me now that if it didn't go the first time, guess what? You probably have another 19 shots behind it.
Totally. Right.
Okay, I got more questions coming because you dropped something there. You said gas or diesel. Is there any limitations to the type of vehicle this can be installed in?
So on a gas engine, we recommend an 8-liter or under. And on a diesel, it's a light diesel. It's like a 6-liter and under. So it's not going to start your Mack truck,
Okay.
but it will start a Mercedes 300E from 1982. That's a diesel engine, or something like that, or even a light diesel. Fleet truck. These are
Well, I was just going to go there. You pretty much said like all fleet pickup trucks, construction, whatever.
Yep.
If you have a bunch of vehicles where, making sure that your employees are safe and not stranded, or maybe you're working in rural areas, forestry, whatever, where, our version of AAA is CAA.
Okay.
It's a hard reach, or sometimes there's no cell service, man. There's a lot of areas where people work with vehicles where there's no cell service. This is that peace of mind, not only from a safety standpoint, but also from a production standpoint.
For sure, because nothing's worse than having your small fleet or your municipality not be able to do their job, not be able to bring profit. For instance, a small fleet of, let's say last mile delivery trucks. If they're not on the road, they're not delivering packages, they're not getting paid, they're not bringing profit in. So this is one more thing that can ensure that vehicle stays on the road and your employees are able to churn that profit. Municipalities, police, fire, anything like that. It's
delivery
perfect.
Services.
Yep. Any of it.
It's endless. So if the dealers listening in, either you're listening in live or on demand, whatever it is, this is a product that fits a lot of categories. So to have in stock, you have a fleet vehicle coming in, you've got a corporate vehicle coming in, you've got a customer that you're putting in a rear blind detection, whatever. Somebody who's in that mindset, you show them this and show them quickly what this does. And man, this is an easy sale for me. I've had so many different sessions where sometimes I struggle to see, the market for this, or I see that it's a very niche market. This is not a niche product.
Not at all. And it's so, like you mentioned, it's so easy to sell, even tugging on the, as much as you want on heartstrings of family members, right? If you have a new driver in the family, for instance, I've got a 16-year-old daughter that we just bought a used car for. Of course I want something like that in there. I don't need her stranded at 11:30 or 11 somewhere and trying to get a hold of us, or not, even getting out of her car for that matter, right? So this is peace of mind. Elderly parents, right? That's one less thing. I know I don't want my parents out jacking with a battery at 75, 80 years old for their just pure safety aspect of it. So like you mentioned, it's an easy sell to almost any use case.
Rural, man.
Yeah.
If you live outside of a city where a tow vehicle or any help is not anywhere close, for example, I live in a rural area. If I do regular runs on areas where there isn't a house, there isn't a building for a while. If I break down there, I'm in trouble for a long time. Half my day on. Where this will give me that peace of mind. So a lot of great features. We covered technology, we covered application, we covered the app for the phone. I guess the only thing I have to ask you is what's next, because this is the singular item under the VPS category right now.
Currently, yes.
What's coming down the pipe? Is there anything you can share with us? Where's this headed?
So we've got multiple options that we're looking into. A perfect segue from this current offering is a marinized one, right? For boating applications, wet weather, exposure, stuff like that. We're looking at.
Does this one have any type of IP rating on it?
It's IP rated for weather. I wouldn't install it outside where it's going to get soaked all the time.
Okay, so if it's in the trunk and it's raining and a little bit of rain goes on, you're okay. But it's not meant for like you said, a marine application.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So a marinized piece that would probably be the same form factor, but more than likely have a dip board and, stuff like that. And we've even looked at possibly doing one for power sports and motorcycles. Goodness. That would be smaller, obviously weatherized and all that. So, we got to walk before we crawl, though. This is the first one coming out. We're pretty sure it's going to be a hit basis, on the feedback that we got, as well as the ad and social campaign we've already launched, which is pretty aggressive for a VOXX product. It looks like this is going to be a hit.
This is a very out there VOXX product that you can have a lot of conversation and dialogue about. Remote starters and ADAS. Yeah, of course you can have a lot of conversation, but this one I feel just touches everybody.
It's easy. I mean,
it's so easy.
It's hard not to sell this to someone, and it fits in every single channel. So it's not specialized where, a remote start may be specialized for this consumer. No, this can literally be pitched to every
and it's universal application. There's no T harness required.
Nothing.
I don't even think you don't even need an instruction. Well, maybe an instruction manual on how to run the app, I guess. But it's 2 wires, guys. There's nobody listening to this that doesn't know how to install this. I can guarantee you that right now.
Right.
That's 100% for sure. Now, I do want to comment on what you said about the marine and the power. Being power sports and marine enthusiast myself, I cannot tell you how many times I've been in a pickle. I mean, bad, right?
I'm sure.
I mean, I've had all different types on the boat, switches to, jump, the trolling motor batteries to the cranking battery, try to get more juice and this and that. That's all bad stuff for your batteries. They're not meant to do that. Like cranking batteries are supposed to crank, right? And trolling motor batteries are supposed to provide power for accessories. Not, you do that in an emergency situation. A device like this, it's a must install. It's not even like a maybe. You have to. If you have a boat, this is a must install. So I think I really encourage. I hope you guys come with that very soon. Same thing with power sports and motorcycles. You're in the woods. Nobody's gonna help you unless you see another guy. And then do you have booster cables? Or booster pad? There's
exactly.
I think I made my point. Earlier. This is hot. This is very hot. This is a game-changing item.
For sure. When I worked for Yamaha on the power sports and motorsports side, like I said, we sold stuff, quote unquote, like this. But to your point, nothing's worse than being in a cove on your boat. You guys are having a good time. You partied for 6 hours without the engine running.
But you blasted your sound system for the last 5 hours.
Yeah, you've got 2 10s and like 6 cans on your boat, and you go to start it up and nothing. So
so much for impressing the guests.
Exactly. It was like, had a fun day while it lasted.
Yeah. And then you're on the horn trying to see, it's a disaster. Nobody wants to talk about it.
A sea tow is easily, in the States, it's easily $250 to get a tow back.
Easily. That depends where.
Right.
Are you coastal and then what if you're on a lake? You're not getting anybody on a lake.
Yeah. I mean, we've got some lakes that
maybe. Okay. Sure.
Again, still it's $250 and you're talking, maybe a mile or 2.
Yeah. So those that are doing like dealership work, expediter business for boat that's something you're definitely going to keep an eye out for. But even expediter work for fleets and stuff, this is a very cool item that you should introduce to your customers and say, hey, by the way, look what just came out. You might be interested in this. And then let's hope VOXX has enough inventory because this is going to be a hot ticket item for sure.
Yeah. So we launched a pretty aggressive, like I mentioned, social campaign on this. And within the first 2 weeks, we had something like 266 open messages wanting to know where they could buy it.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's pretty damn good.
Well, good news for our Canadian dealers. There's plenty of distributors in Canada that carry VOXX. If you want to find out more information, make sure you visit the VOXXelectronics.com, and we added the /VPS because that's going to get you right to the link that tells you all the great details about this new power system. I'm on the website here myself. I'm just taking a look at it. It does self-monitoring to prevent overcharging, like Jonathan mentioned. It's on-demand power when you need it most. It's versatile installation options. It's worry-free. It works with all gas, light diesel vehicles, and it's peace of mind every time. I think that is the clutch phrase in the whole thing.
Yep, for sure.
I'll leave you with the last word. Any last message you'd have for dealers that are interested in this product?
Contact your local distributor. This is set to land mid next month. As soon as it lands, we're going to be shipping it out. So
so it's not even out yet. Like it's not
even out.
Okay.
Nope.
So get on that right now. This is going to be a hot item. I have no doubt about it. And what I'd love to do is maybe at a later time, maybe 6 months from now or something, kind of come back and get some reviews from some retailers and see, what their feedback has been playing with this thing.
Yeah, for sure. And we've created a display, so it will either hang on slat wall or it can hang or sit on a counter. And I know that Joe is going back and forth with how you get it free, so he's designing that program. Yeah. So yeah, with it.
This is one of those things you want to have a demo.
Yeah.
Like a physical display to show them. It'll take you 30 seconds to sell this.
Yep.
So
exactly.
There you go. Jonathan, I think we did it, man. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us all about VOXX Power System and this new backup battery system. Stamp, boom, game changer. That's a game changer item for me. Hope you have a good weekend, man.
Yeah, you too, Ben. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Take care.
Thanks.
There you have it. VOXX Power Systems. Cool, innovative new category from the folks at VOXX Electronics. I'm a big fan of this particular item. Yeah, get me some. I think I need like 3 of these things. It's crazy. Why would you not have this? So more information, like I said, check out. I'm going to go ahead and throw up the number one more time. Not the number, but the information, voxelectronics.com/VPS. That's where you want to go to get more information on this particular item. That's it for me. Hope everybody had a great week. Look forward to the weekend. We'll be back, of course, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with more connected episodes. And next Wednesday, we're back with a CMA Live, all about wiring and accessories. You'll catch that on Wednesday evening, June 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern. That's it for now. I'm your host, Ben Wu, for CMA Connected, of course, presented by SiriusXM. Have a great weekend. Till next time, we connect.